Should I get my watch engraved? Hi, welcome to Exceptional Timing. We're here to help you choose the perfect watch for you. Please like and subscribe on YouTube to help you find our other videos and explore further articles at exceptionaltiming.com. Getting a watch engraved is a great way to personalize your favorite piece of wristwear. Whether you're getting a sweet phrase engraved, a motivational quote, or your initials, this is becoming an increasingly popular tradition. However, much like a tattoo, many people come to regret their decision to engrave their watch. So, should you get your watch engraved or not? The decision to get your watch engraved or not is a big one. It's something that you should think about and be sure of before you go ahead with it. There's a lot to think about, from the words to the font and the design. As long as you're sure about it, engraving your watch can be really sentimental. So what do you need to consider before getting your watch engraved? In this article, we'll take a look at some of the main things that you need to keep in mind when making the decision to get your watch engraved, along with how it will impact the value of the watch and whether you can get the engraving reversed. Why do people get watches engraved? There are many reasons why people choose to engrave their watches. It's usually to mark an important date or to commemorate something to make the watch more meaningful. Some of the most common reasons why people engrave a watch are as a birthday gift, to commemorate an event such as an anniversary, an I love you gift, or to mark an accomplishment such as a graduation. If you're thinking about getting your watch engraved, it's likely that you already have an idea of why you want to engrave it. However, some people choose to get a watch engraved simply just to make it personal to them. For example, many people opt for getting their initials engraved on their watch. What do I need to think about before getting my watch engraved? There are several things that you'll need to consider before you go ahead with getting your watch engraved. Below is a list of the main things that you'll need to think about before going ahead. Will the relationship last? The design and the font. Will you hand the watch down? Are you sure about the words? Will the relationship last? This may sound like a little cliche, but it's important to think about whether the relationship will last before getting your watch engraved. If you're getting married, it's a good opportunity to go ahead with get your watch engraved. If you want your initials engraved, it's also a good choice. However, if you're thinking about getting your feelings engraved onto a watch about someone you've been dating for a couple of months, then maybe consider giving it a miss. It's worth waiting a little while until you're sure you're not going to end up regretting that decision. The design and font. It's important to think about the design and font before you go to the shop and to go through with your engraving. If the fonts and designs are limited, ask them for an example first so you can be sure you'll be happy with it. Make sure you also discuss the spacing and size with the engraver first too. Will you hand the watch down? If you're planning on handing the watch down through the generations, then you should think carefully about engraving it. Only engrave it with something that would go down well with your son or daughter. Are you sure about the words? Think carefully about what it is that you want to have engraved on your watch. If you have an idea in your head of what you would like to have engraved on your watch, then really think about it and think about it again until you're absolutely certain. How does engraving impact the value of the watch? Engraving your watch will decrease its value by quite a significant amount. The only time that engraving can increase the resale value of a watch is if you're someone really famous. Then people will want to buy a personally engraved watch. Many people will choose to engrave a modern watch rather than a vintage watch. That way, they can buy a replacement back cover should they ever decide against the engraving. This also means they can eventually sell or pass down the watch with an original back cover rather than the engraved one, and this will prevent the watch from devaluing. Many people cherish an engraved watch, so while it may decrease in monetary value, it will increase in sentimental value, and for some people, that's more important. Can I get my watch engraving reversed? In some cases, you can get your engravings reversed, but only in certain circumstances. If the watch has been engraved by a machine, then the engraving is likely to be quite light, and most of the time you can get the engraving polished off it. However, if the watch has been hand engraved, an option many people opt for as it's more permanent, then you'll not be able to get that reversed most likely. The engraving was probably too deep for you to make any changes, so you're stuck with it. In the case of the watch, if the case of the watch is made from gold, then you can get this laser filled to remove the engraving. However, this is going to set you back quite a large cost. How long does it take to engrave a watch? The time it takes to engrave your watch can vary depending on the method of engraving and the number of characters that are being engraved. In some cases, your watch can be engraved within a day. However, in other cases, you may have to wait up to a week for the work to be completed. On average, you can expect to have your engraved watch back within around 2 to 5 days. It's generally not a very expensive procedure, and you can expect to pay less than $50. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, it's ultimately your decision on whether or not you should get your watch engraved. Now that you have all the facts, take some time to weigh up the pros and cons of having your watch engraved. That way you can be absolutely certain that you made the right decision. You should go ahead with it. And remember, you should probably ask the advice of a financial advisor before engraving a more expensive watch. Please like and subscribe on YouTube to ensure you can find our other videos and explore further articles at exceptionaltiming.com.